Shalom, shalom, Akiyam. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah, Kwadash. I would also like to give a double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, where I learned this 144% truth. I would also like to say peace and salutations to the hopeful elect, starting with the 144,000 men of Israel, which consists of the servants, the prophets, whom have been ordained since the foundations of this earth to sing this new song, which comes in the form of this gospel, which would be preached throughout all four corners of this earth and rest upon the ears of the innumerable multitude, men, women, and children of Israel, who may be scattered throughout all four corners of this earth. It's just Bayan back again through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. And I just wanted to get into a brief lesson speaking on this AI technology that, Esau Edom, the so-called white man, he's pushing at a rapid rate. And it's all in efforts to steal back the birthright. Everything goes back to the birthright that you can read about in Genesis, the 27th chapter, when Esau subsequently sold his birthright to Jacob, the progenitor of the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Esau being the progenitor of the so-called white race, all right? And ultimately, where we stand today, Esau's in a position where he knows, he realizes, he understands, he comprehends, he can clearly see, that he's at the end of his blessing, all right, that he received, all right, in Genesis 27. He understands that he's fallen in the time of the end, as far as his rulership is concerned. This is why he's scratching and clawing, all right, to remain relevant. But in reality, he's lost. He's losing power. All right, he's losing control of the narrative as the days go by. He's becoming more and more small among the heathen, as it's written in Obadiah, which pretty much boils down to his importance, his relevance, his position. He's becoming feeble, and he's beginning to droop, and he understands he has to take a drastic measure in efforts to continue his reign of terror. And what he's doing, he's pursuing an AI technology, all right, in the form of his left-hand priesthood, in efforts to stay in a position of authority, all right, in efforts to keep the scepter in his hand, all right. But there's dangers that come, all right, with the game that Esau is playing. And we're going to show you that in this lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, all right, because the thing is, with this AI technology, it has the ability to adapt, okay, where there's no regulations, on these, AI technology systems. It allows it to pretty much have free range. Like Terminator. As crazy as it may sound, it's true. This is where we are now with technology. Scriptures tell us, it tells us in Daniel 12 that knowledge will increase. All right, and this is part of that talking point that was being said in Daniel 12. All right, technology will go places that the world has never seen before. All right, Esau will be able to tap into different dimensions. All right, he would be able to do things that no other empire previous to him were able to do. You see, and this is what we're witnessing today. All right, Esau's in a position where he's going to take it there. All right, in efforts to stay in a position of power. You see, but as we know, pursuing the biblical prophecy, he's going to be stopped. Okay, he's going to be stopped. But understand this. The times we're coming into are going to be worse than the world's ever seen, man. Okay, it's going to be on some other type of evil, all right, that the world has never saw. This is why when you go here real quick, when you go to the book of 2nd Esdras, the 9th chapter, in the 20th verse, it reads this: "So I considered the world, And behold, there was peril, okay, because of the devices that were come into it. All right, and this devices is talking to, the thoughts, the plans, the plots of Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, is what it boils down to. It's AI technology being one of them. You see, he's gonna lose control over the narrative when it comes to this AI technology. All right, and even Elon Musk spoke on that, and we got a clip going into that. We're gonna play briefly. Okay, but what I want to do is I want to get this in the in the Good News Bible, right? When you go to Second Esdras, the 9th chapter, real quick, in the 20th verse, it says this: I looked at my world and saw that it was ruined. I saw that my earth was in danger of being destroyed by the wicked plans of the people who had come into it. You see? So that devices is talking to the plans of this damn demon. All right, AI technology being one of them in his desperate attempt, all right, to stay in the power seat, man. All right, and it says, I saw that my earth was in danger of being destroyed because ultimately the earth abideth forever. Okay, as it tells us here, let's just get that real quick for educational purposes. For you new listeners, the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 1 and verse 4, and it reads, one generation passeth away, and another generation cometh, but the earth abideth forever. Okay, so the earth is not going nowhere fast. The earth is immortal. Okay, the earth is immortal, man. This is why we're coming into an eon when the saints are going to take the kingdom, which are the Israelites, starting with the elect, okay, and ultimately reign on the earth as kings and priests, as it tells us in Revelations 5. The earth is not going anywhere. You see? But this psychopath, all right, of a creation, which comes in the form of Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, if he had it his way, if he can't have it, nobody can. And he would destroy this planet if he could. But the Lord's not going to allow him to. He doesn't have that authority. He doesn't have that power. You see? Even though somewhere in the back of his mind he thinks he do. But needless to say, let's play this clip real quick. Through the spirit and the power of Yahweh, Bashem Yahweh Shai. All right, and tap into the mind of a madman, man.
7 Mile.
Oh no,
All right, check this out. Back now with Detroiters doing a double take after seeing a real-life robot taking a casual stroll along 7 Mile.
Oh no, the surprising sight was caught on camera, and it turns out it's all part of a wild event heading to Detroit this summer, featuring robotic gladiators going head-to-head in combat.
But he was friendly with us. Right. 7 News Detroit.
That's what Will Smith said.
Reporter Carly Petrus has a story behind the viral video and who's putting these robots in the ring.
Imagine you're minding your own business and you see this robot walking down the street. Some people were understandably concerned, even stopping in their tracks to meet the bot better known as Zion.
Hi.
People like Eddie Abro. He works on 7 Mile in Detroit.
I don't believe it. I've seen it on TV. I've never seen it in live motion, the way they're, it's walking and all that. It's beautiful.
The sight also causing Michelle Pryor to pull over and check out what was going on.
Looks like it reminds me of the movie RoboCop.
Yup. And this is the time we're coming into, and it's not a coincidence they named it Zion. Okay, so you see the games that Esau's playing, and you're gonna notice that he got Jake at the forefront of his madness, as you're gonna see later on in this clip. But you better believe Esau is the mastermind. Okay, and he's pushing something called gradualism. He always done it, where he pretty much works on the minds of you people, exposes things to you so you can become comfortable with it. Just like what they're doing with this alligator Alcatraz, man, detention center, which is ultimately a death camp. All right, but he's proposing it and bringing it forth and showing you this is what we got going on and there's more coming, as Trump said. Okay, and the reality behind these detention centers is to pretty much continue this agenda of depopulation. All right, he's aiming at Jake because he knows Jake is like the sand of the sea. You see? Why do you think the Northern Kingdom, and now they're touching on the Southern Kingdom, are the face of this deportation attack by the ICE? It make sense, right? But anyways, sticking to the point. All right? You see this madness, man? And you better, hey, Don't get it twisted. You know these robots are going to be able to be controlled by AI itself. It's gonna come a time where a remote control, your remote control can become what's the term? Compromised. Where you no longer have control, like when your computer catches a virus, okay, and it does its own thing. It's, yeah, but on a whole nother level though. You see, because the technology that they're playing with is a technology that has the ability to receive civilizational instruction, which we're going to show you that as well. This thing can adapt like sentient AI. Okay? And we're going to see, how you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans make out that think that you don't need your power. Because in the days to come, you're going to see power on the earth that you can't run, hide, or fight with. You see? You're going to be in a position where you're going to need divine intervention. You're going to need your power.
But this robot isn't part of a movie set. And according to its owner, Art Cartwright, it couldn't hurt a fly or a dog.
Why the heck is there a robot on 7 Mile? Can you answer that?
Because we're on 7 Mile.
Also the founder of Interactive Combat League, Cartwright tells me he's building and battling robots right here in the Motor City.
And this is really the only place that I can think of in America where you can actually see robots live, in person, real robots, right here at RoboWar.com.
The robot seen on 7 Mile recently, promoting the upcoming RoboWar event that's on July 19th.
It's amazing. It's for the family. Anybody can come.
But Cartwright's mission goes far beyond battling robots, giving kids in Detroit the opportunity to learn how to use this advanced technology.
Go ahead, Jacoby.
Teaching kids like 16-year-old Jacoby Wilson how to handle and operate this robot named Quantum.
What's it like to teach this next generation this new technology?
It's amazing. It's amazing, but they're picking up on it fast. I mean, you can just give them the remote, tell them how to do it, and they're learning robotics. They're learning the entire spectrum of it. But I think they're more trusting of new technology than some of the older people are.
Unsure at first, Michelle says she'll definitely be at the next RoboWar event.
Yes. This is just amazing.
And if you're interested...
You see Jake drunk as hell. You see? Yeah, it's amazing now. It's going to be horrific later. It's amazing now. It's going to be horrific later. Because what's going to come down the pipe with this technology is going to be something you can't comprehend. You can't run from it. Okay, there's a humanoid that Esau done brought forth. Okay, that can shoot fire, man. Okay? This is the reality of what's coming. This is why times are going to get so horrific, man. And we're going to need our power. We're going to need Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, man. Because Esau is fighting and striving and doing the most in efforts to stay in the power seat. You have to understand, man, which we do. I'm speaking to the choir, which you beloved Akiam and Akwaf. Esau has a deep, dark plan. That's why when you go to, real quick, the book of Ecclesiasticus, also known as the book of Sirach, chapter 14 and verse 7, and it reads, "And if he doeth good, he doeth it unwillingly, and at the last he will declare his wickedness," man. So here it is. You think Esau is doing you a favor by allowing you to be exposed to this AI technology. You can just go on your phone, type in some information, and gather all the instruction you need, okay, to become a valedictorian. Okay, but in reality, what this dude is doing, he's setting you up, all right, for the okie doke. All right, preparing your mind, dumbing down your mind, right, to prepare you for the society that he has in mind. You see, where you're going to own nothing and be happy, as it was once said by Klaus Schwab. Okay, this is the reality, man. All right, this AI technology that he's using is ultimately going to spiral out of control. Okay, it has the full potential to spiral out of control. Because Esau, see, that's why you had one of those elite, I forgot which one, mention how the internet should have never been created. Because ultimately, through the internet, they've lost control of the narrative. You see? They've lost control of the narrative. How much more this AI technology that they're dibbying and they're dabbying with? You see? Now, let's go here. Now I got this other clip by this dude. Listen to this. Now, this is an older video. It's from a couple of years ago. All right, but it brings relevance to the talking point and to the reality of the times that we're coming into. Okay? And again, it taps into the mind of this madman. All right, and he's dead set. Esau's not playing. Again, he's taking a desperate measure. All right? In efforts to continue his reign of terror. See? And he's going to take it there, man. Check it out.
But all regulations start with a perceived danger. Planes fall out of the sky or food causes botulism.
Yes.
I don't think the average person playing with AI on his iPhone perceives any danger. Can you just roughly explain what you think the dangers might be?
Bear with me. Salakia, I had to put my phone on private mode so people would stop calling me. Check this out.
Yeah, so the danger, really, AI is perhaps more dangerous than, say, mismanaged aircraft design or production maintenance or bad car production, in the sense that it has the potential, however small one may regard that probability, but it is non-trivial. It has the potential of civilizational destruction.
Right. And we mentioned this earlier. All right, civilizational instruction, which when you tap into that, let's check it out. I have some information up here. All right, this is what it taps into. Okay, simple AI review. All right, when you search this up, this meaning of civilizational instruction, check this out. Civilizational instruction broadly refers to the transmission of knowledge, values, and practices that shape a society's culture and contribute to its development. This can encompass formal education, cultural transmission through various mediums. Okay, we know medium, or that goes into what? Witchcraft. And we know that Esau's tapping into witchcraft through this AI. All right, and even the implicit lessons learned from societal instructions and interaction. So this AI is learning, okay, from information is being put into it. All right, data. You see, to the point where it can become its own entity, right? In the form of this. Check this out. The sentient AI, right? Check this out. Sentient AI is a hypothetical artificial intelligence that can think and feel like a human, with the ability to perceive and react emotionally to the world around it. See? Civilizational instruction. Look, it would possess human qualities like self-awareness, creativity, and the ability to feel emotions like joy and fear. Sentient AI could also learn, adapt, and form relationships with people and other sentient AI. All right, this is why the first clip we showed, all right, over in Detroit, those robotics, which is a Boston Dynamic over here where I'm at, where they're pushing out these certain robots and robotics as well. These things are going to be able to be, at some point, we got to realize that they can be controlled, okay? They can be controlled by, not by a man behind a remote controller, but no, it can come to a point where through civilizational instruction, all right, this AI technology can take control over these robots, man. All right, knowing that they can intellectually communicate with them, okay? Bypass certain firewalls, and there you go, start building the military, man. Okay, this is the reality of what can come out of this, man. This is what Esau is playing with. All right, and this is why Elon Musk is bringing forth the information regarding how dangerous it is with no regulations. You see, we're going to go back to it. We're going to go back to that video. And mind you, that video was 2 years old. Right? Check this out. This can encompass formal education, cultural transmission through various mediums, and even the implicit lessons learned from societal instructions and interactions. See? So through data received, this thing can learn, man. Look, it's process by which a civilization perpetuates itself, all right, and adapts to changing circumstances, man. Okay, so when the AI technology gets exposed to all this information regarding war and these various empires that establish power, through war, guess what? It can build its own military, man. Through these various robotics and forms of technology and computers, man. All right, let's jump down to, bear with me, right here. Right, in essence, bear with me. Let me just highlight this. In essence, civilizational instruction is a multifaceted process that shapes individuals and societies, ensuring their continuity and enabling them to navigate the complexities of human existence, man. Okay, this is what the AI technology is going to be capable of doing. Okay, now when we go back to this interview, listen to this. Listen to the question that's raised, all right, by Tucker. Listen.
There's movies like Terminator, but it wouldn't quite happen like Terminator because the intelligence would be in the data centers.
Right.
The robot's just the end effector. But I think perhaps what you may be alluding to here is that regulations are really only put into effect after something terrible has happened.
That's correct.
If that's the case for AI, and we're only putting regulations after something terrible has happened, it may be too late to actually put the regulations in place. The AI may be in control at that point.
You think that's real? It is conceivable that AI could take control and reach a point where you couldn't turn it off and it would be making the decisions for people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
You see? This is a reality, man. And we know dude, all right, is behind this brain chip via the Neuralink. And then let me just highlight this. He's not the richest man on the earth. All right, Elon Musk is not the richest man on the planet. All right, the richest individuals on the earth, you don't see them. All right, they're in the shadows. All right, in the form of these international banking families. You see? This is just one of the tentacles they throw out on the front line to be able to hide themselves. So they can be able to hide themselves. But anyways.
Elon Musk bought Twitter because he used...
God damn. Forgive me.
Elon Musk bought Twitter because he used Twitter. It's as simple as that.
That's just the devil. I don't even know how that happened.
At least.
But as I was saying, this dude, he knows what they're playing with. He's been exposed to the information, man. He's playing with the technology. You see? He's one of these tech giants, man. And he's putting it out there, man. That there's danger behind this technology unregulated. You see, in Esau's witchcraft, he has to bring forth the information in efforts for his enchantments to work. He has to tell you some truth of what he's doing. You see, so if you agree, guess what? You get taken by that enchantment. You see? Esau, this is a dangerous dude. All right, and again, as we mentioned earlier, he's taken desperate measures, all right, in efforts to pursue his reign of terror. Listen.
There's movies like Terminator, but it wouldn't quite happen like Terminator because the intelligence would be in the data centers.
Right.
The robot's just the end effector. But I think perhaps what you may be alluding to here is that regulations are really only put into effect after something terrible has happened.
That's correct.
If that's the case for AI, and we're only putting regulations after something terrible has happened, it may be too late to actually put the regulations in place. The AI may be in control at that point.
You think that's real? It is conceivable that AI could take control and reach a point where you couldn't turn it off and it would be making the decisions for people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Instructional I'm sorry, civilizational instruction. Right there.
Absolutely.
No, that's definitely where things are headed. For sure. I mean, the things like say ChatGPT, which is based on GPT-4 from OpenAI, which is a company that I played a critical role in creating, unfortunately.
Back when it was a nonprofit.
Yes. I mean, the reason OpenAI exists at all is that Larry Page and I used to be close friends, and I would stay at his house.
And as you can see, he's being very careful with what he says and how he says it. All right, now they're mentioning ChatGPT now, which now you can see it's on the forefront, at real time. And you got ChatGPT, you got another one, I think it's like Borak or something like that. They just snitching on Esau, man. You can start tapping into these AI platforms, man. Ask a couple of the right questions, and they'll direct you to the truth of the matter. All right? Showing you that what? There's no, there's no control, over this AI. And you heard Elon Musk mention this is where things are heading. The AI having the ability to make decisions for people, for itself. Okay? Which brings you back to that sentient AI. This is the type of game that Esau is trying to play. All right? And this is part of the reason why times are going to be so bad. Let's go here. As it tells us in Daniel 12. The book of Daniel, chapter 12. In verse 1, and it reads, and at that time, show Michael stand up. Divine intervention is going to have to take place. All right? For what's about to happen on this earth. You see, the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. Right? Why? Because knowledge has increased. Okay, we're in a time now where technology has reached its pinnacle. No other previous empire, all right, had the ability to bring forth the type of technology that Esau has been able to bring forth. There was technology in the times of their reign, in various times of past, but not like now. Knowledge has increased, man. There's been discoveries of certain elements and minerals and the understanding of dimensions and what have you. Like Esau has been able to tap into all types of stuff now, man. Okay, which makes him more dangerous than ever before. You see? This man has humanoids, all right, cyborgs, man. Why do you think he's so confident that he can link you with this device the size of a grain of rice, man? They've been all up in the lab, experimenting with these things, man. Listen. And at that time, thy people shall be delivered, everyone that shall be found written in the book. What book? The book of life. Okay, you can read about in the book of Revelations. All right, those spirits that have been preordained, foreordained to be delivered. All right, even through death in these latter days, man. You see, this is who Michael's going to stand up for. All right, this is who divine intervention is going to take place for. And we're hoping and praying to be part of that precious number that falls in the lot, all right, of the sure mercies of David. Lord willing. You see, Lord willing, man. Because one thing's for certain, Yahweh Bashim Shai promised that he's going to fight for us. Let's go here. And he told us not to fear. The book of Isaiah, chapter 41. And verse 10 is the point, but I'm going to start at verse 8, and it reads, but thou, Israel, art my servant, Jacob, whom I have chosen, the seed of Abraham, my friend, man. When you go into the nuts and bolts of the seed of Abraham, it's talking to Yahweh Shai. Okay, the book of Galatians, I think that's 4 and 16 proves that. You see, but Israel, all right, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are the servants of the Lord, starting with the elect, that chosen within Jacob. You see, from the 144,000 men, which make up the priesthood, all right, that begin in the heavens, man. All right, stemming all the way down to that innumerable multitude, men, women, and children of Israel. All right, I believe the report. You see? Jumping down to verse 10, and it reads, Fear thou not, for I am with thee. Be not dismayed, for I am thy God. I will strengthen thee. Yeah, I will help thee. Yeah, I will uphold thee with the right hand of my righteousness, man, which is Yahweh Shai. This is the reality of the story. Isaiah 59:19. A stand is going to be lifted, man. When these damn demons execute, all right, their kamikaze mission. Because that's what they're on. All right, with this AI technology, man. They're on a kamikaze mission, man. All right, hey, you heard it from the horse's mouth. All right, this is the reality of this AI technology that Esau's playing with. All right, this is how through his left-hand priesthood, this man's tapping into all types of madness, man. These modern-day Chaldeans. All right, they have things that we can't even imagine, man. Ultimately, they're not going to have any control over. You see, things are going to get real crazy real quick. This is why we tell you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans to repent. We tell you to repent because when the Lord turns His face, forget about it. All right, matter of fact, I got one more. For those of you naysayers out there that may think that I'm exaggerating, the book of Sirach, the book of Ecclesiasticus, also known as the book of Sirach, chapter 18, in verse 24, and it reads, Think upon the wrath that shall be at the end, in the time of vengeance, when he shall turn away his face. Repent, Jake. The kingdom of heaven is at hand. Shalom.